Good news, everyone.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're doing okay. It's been a long time since we've been able to hear someone say good news to everyone about anything to do with EVEONLINE. But when it comes to this patch notes, I think this is possibly some good news, and I've spoken to a few people. Probably should have led with this at FanFest, if I'm honest, but hey, that things happen. So if you haven't seen already in your launcher and had a good look through, you probably know what all this is about. But just to go over what this means, essentially, it's some good news, finally. There's some good news, there's a good patch. Some people are obviously still going to be full-on hate boner for CCP. I'm not going to lie, I don't like the price hike, but at the end of the day, you're not going to stop them from doing it. Dropping subs isn't going to stop doing it. You're not going to stop it. So just basically either stop playing, reduce your accounts for now, or just suck it up, basically. But let's get back into this. So this is the patch notes. Now, this means that manufacturing and industry as a whole is getting a bit of love. Finally. Now, some people saying, oh my god, this is an amazing content update. It's not really, though. They are just unfucking what they fucked in the first place. But lo and behold, nevertheless, they've actually done something good. So if you look at the patch notes here, we'll go through this. We're not going to go every single detail. As again, I'll put a link for this in the description so you can have a good look yourself. But I'm not going to insult your capabilities of reading. So there's been this long-awaited update on structures because people were spamming structures, and it was 3 reinforcements timer on the medium. They're called medium structures. So your Athenor, Rataru, and Astra House, they're called your medium structures, not small. I know. There isn't. Is there? I don't know. I don't know if there's any small structures. Probably things, I don't know, where Sino Beacon could be classed as a small structure. Fuck knows. Anyway, that doesn't matter. So they've got rid of the damage cap limit on shields, which means you can now go absolutely helicoptering through an entire region with your supers and titans and completely reinforce everything in one night, essentially, because there's no damage cap. Now, with the removal of damage cap, they have increased the shields on the actual structures themselves. So they've doubled it, I believe. Just over double, maybe. I think it's double. Yeah, double the shields, remove the damage cap. But for medium structures, they have completely removed the hull reinforcement timer. So as soon as it's gone through its shield reinforcement timer, the armor, you then hit the heart armor, and then you're also hitting the hull. And they have reduced the hull HP by 50%. So as you can see here, defenders will chosen. So again, I'm not going to go through all these little timers, and different space has different timers. I couldn't really care less. I operate in nullsec mainly, so I only really care about what goes on in nullsec. But if you want to pause at any point to look at these timers, or again look through this yourself, more than welcome to. So again, there we go. There's no hull reinforcements in any of the space for medium. Again, there's none for whatever flex structure is. Someone's going to correct me on that one, God knows. But in wormholes, low sec and high sec, there is no, yeah, whatever. I'm guessing that's something to do with like your Sino Beacon travel sort of structures. But yeah, okay, so hull timers have gone on your medium structures. So your Asher House, Athenor, Rataru, gone. Shield, damage cap, gone. But your shield's been doubled. Armor hasn't really been affected. But you can, there's also stuff to do with the reinforcement timers and whatever. Not bothered. So there it is, 1.8 million HP. Yeah, so it's doubled. Doubled the HP on them. Baltazar has not. So these have all had their 20% more, 25% more shield hit points, but again, damage cap removed. Hull hit points reduced by 75%. 75%, not 50%, my bad. 75%. So, wow. Hull's going to go pretty quick, but it should do, to be fair. So the point defense fact, if you've ever used one of these on a Fortizar or Keepstar, Asbel, whatever, anything but large structure, you now need ammo for your point defense. Skill plans, yeah, we can go over that at some point. Yeah, science and industry. Life support, so this is a big one as well. So your industry jobs for life support backup unit used to give you 1 per run. You now get 3 per run, which is nice. Auto, same with that one, so you're now getting 3 times what you used to, which should make them more abundant for construction, which is nice. That's a nice little change. So they've reduced some of the blueprints. Again, if you want to pause at any point to have a quick look through, go for it. Update build material requirements for ship blueprints have been made. This update affects blueprints, faction, pirate, capital, super capital ships in the following way. So these are faction frigates. So again, I'll let you go through these because these have been reduced. So as you can see, quite some of the faction stuff has been reduced quite a lot. It's like Triglavian stuff. If you're a Triglavian builder, perfect. Look, it's gone down by a quarter of the amount of those these you need. That's nice. There's some good industry changes here. This should be looked at quite positively, and I think it will. Obviously, you're still going to get the full-on rage boner from a lot of people because of price increase, but if you go past that to your production lines, which is big alliances have huge sprawling production lines, people with 15, 20, 30 characters dedicated to it. This is going to be huge. So there's a lot less PI needed. Like, I think there used to be about 15, 20 freighters worth of water just for a super carrier. Not anymore. You can get all that in a DST now, which is nice. So Capital Industrials. So they have, again, released the requirements for the capital components as well as all the other bits and pieces. So yeah, life supports, the auto integrity preservation seals, reduced all that, which is nice. They have reduced the capital components required as well, which is good. So carriers and dreadnoughts have got a lot cheaper. I believe if I can bring up a sheet, I think if I go on Eve Cook. So here we are. So if you have a Revelation, which used to be, I think, 7 or 8 billion, if you're talking about 8 or 9 billion per hull with fit and all that sort of stuff, it's quite expensive, which you don't really want to start throwing around. So if we go on to calculate recipe, the new costs now, that's a bit of a drop. That's a nice drop. So you're talking 3.5 billion now for a dreadnought, which that pretty much used to be what it was. Maybe a bit more, but I don't think we're going to see any further reduction in the cost of capitals. They've made them a lot cheaper now. For example, here they've halved it. Nice. Zenitra, they've halved it. So again, you can pause this at any point you want to. There's a reduction to the. Let's go for the Nix. The Nix has had quite a nice reduction as well. So it used to be something like 80 or 90 billion, is now down to 33.5 billion. This is if you're doing it in Sotoyo in a Tech 2 rig. Sotoyo. You may have something else different in your system, fine. But this is just base figures. So they've dropped it down from capital armor plates from 10 down to 3. Nice. These are your faction ones, which, again, if you want to pause or go through yourself, that's fine. Force auxiliaries, I think these should have been a little bit cheaper. A few people I've seen think they should be a little bit cheaper as well. Super carriers, which is a big one because they used to be 80 to 100 billion ISK for each one. These are now quite a substantial amount cheaper, which is going in the right direction. They are still very expensive. Someone in my Corp Discord was mentioning that, yes, they are still too expensive. But if they were this expensive with previous levels of income, great. No one would have really been too bothered. You could still make that sort of money, but with nowadays or modern level of income versus this cost, still not exactly a viable option. They can be built a lot easier, but they're not exactly going to be mass produced anymore, which is what CCP are after. So I'm going to go out on a whim and say that this is probably the resting place for these ships. So like the Titans as well. So let's have a look at an Avatar, which is probably the most common Titan or Erebus kicking about. So still 128 billion. That's still a hell of a lot of money. I can't imagine these staying at these prices, but we'll see. I mean, a Vanquisher is still, you're talking 700 billion ISK for that, and it is absolutely insane. But guys, that is the updates on those capital components. The ships changes, the structure changes, and yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think this as a whole is quite a good change, quite a good update. I think we needed something positive to come out after FanFest, but I think they probably should have gone with this at FanFest and told everyone about this to say, you know, give an olive branch at least, but you never mind. Guys, I hope you've found this informative. I'll leave a link for this down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. We have got a lot more videos coming in this sort of format for news and going over sort of stuff, but also there's a big project I'm working on as well with a few people. But guys, thank you for watching. Take it easy and fly safe.